Hi guys, my name is Meads. This is going to be a review for Playart Sky variant, and this is the Batman, and designed by Tetsuya Nomura. He's known over at Square Enix and through his work on Final Fantasy and as well as, what was that? Kingdom Hearts, there we go. And this is a really interesting figure. When I first saw it, the promo images are great. I really liked it, and as it goes on, then I had mixed feelings about it. I think number one thing that held me back from getting it at that time was the price. This is ridiculous. You're looking at over $200. Yep, and at that point, let's get a Hot Toys. Yeah. But the design and the look on this one is really crazy, and that's pretty much what drew me to getting it. I got mine from Tatsu Hobby. This is a special order, and I'll provide the link down below if you are interested of acquiring such as this or other Japanese collectibles out there. Alright, so here's the back of the box. I'm showing the back first because when you flip it over, it's a big box actually. Let's see if I can flip it over here. Here's the front. You can barely make out what's in there. The thing is, it's too dark. The back side of the of the box is black as well, so you barely make out anything on this box. Yeah. If you're curious what's on top, it's basically the shape of some of like a batarang or the bat. Yep. And on the bottom side, yeah, just Square Enix. Yep. I mean, it has some nice details on the box. You got the red bats over here, and the motif of, or the color scheme of this is just mostly black and red for the most part. Yep. I kind of wish they made the box a little bit cooler. it's a bit lackluster, in my opinion. Anyways, let's take a look inside. Right, we got the Tetsuya's Batman here, and in terms of size, usually Playart Sky around the 10-inch scale. Up to the top of the ear here, it's about 11 1/4. Top of his head, it's about 10 1/2. A little taller than your average Playarts. He's great. Just looking at that color scheme, really menacing. You also have the wings here. I did find a section here is kind of dent. Interesting color scheme. We have the gloss black here. We have a bit of gunmetal here, as well as the extra arm here for the wings, and you have highlights of red. And same thing with the other wing, which we'll go over in a bit once we go over articulation. On his body, you got the really nice crimson red here on his visor, towards his shoulder here. And again, you get that highlights of red all over the black gloss. There is matte black as well on certain parts of like the bicep here, the upper thigh. Gunmetal on the wings. You have red highlights here again. You got gunmetal on the back part of the cape. And definitely you have to build the base on this one. He's kind of hard to stand on his own. He's top heavy. Alright, let's go over articulation. In terms of the neck here, you can move it down side to side, but find at the base of the neck to the torso, it's kind of limited. Move side to side, not much problem. The back of his head, gonna have the brown highlight there. Then you have the shoulder flap. It's kind of molded in on the top part. It's flexible. Then you have the shoulder joint. This particular joint is angled towards the torso. It's I think one of the newer joint system, and which is good. I like this actually. This design of a shoulder joint. Then you have the swivel on the bicep right here. It's a little stiff. Then you're ratcheting elbow joint. Yep. Then you have the wrist joint here. Then you have this torso here. You can actually see the joint in there. Let's see if, right there. There's a little bit of a hollow part. In terms of up crunch, it's fairly decent. Even looking back here. Then you have this floating waist or the crotch area, even the back part. Then you have the ratcheting waist. Yep. Then you have the knee, double jointed. Knee placement is not too bad. It's actually great. Then you also have the ankle here. There we go. And I think you can put it on the side as well. And you also have that side that tilt on the foot. But I rather twist it here. It's more natural than using the toe. And I think that's about it in terms of the main figure. I mean, this waist here can do certain poses to the side, which is great. Although you do have gaps. That's the only thing though. On the back here, you have the cape. It's kind of like a three-part cape. This one is kind of cut short, but you have this part here. It's a rising joint. You can move this around. Same thing on this one. Then you got this big giant part here. This is where the wings are attached. Yep. Then you got these sleeves here. Yeah, there's a lot of things going on this particular figure. And to attach this, it's gonna be a little tricky. Gonna move this here. Gonna just align it. I can't quite remember which way it goes. I just kinda, there's a hollow part here of the wing. I would assume it goes this way. Then just kind of wiggle, or usually you want to hold it here, but kind of just go back and forth, kind of get that big joint to go in. There we go. Once you're in there, well, you can always move these things around. Alright, that's one wing. Let me do the other one. Alright, I got it attached. And I kind of just went and put this on the back here. Quite over the shoulder a little bit. Yep. It looks great. It looks like a, what do you call that? Those winged devils. Or actually like Devilman. Really nice. Now, in terms of articulation, there's quite a bit for the wings itself. Just move this arm here. So for this one, you got a double joint here. And you have the wrist joint. You can move this around. Then you get this main joint here, which kind of went over the ratchets. Then you have a double joint here. Actually, it's somewhat a double joint. It's a ratcheting joint here, and then a swivel. Then a double joint here. So you can get a fairly good wingspan on this. Then you can move the wings down. Yep, that's quite great. The wings here kind of reminds me of Destiny Gundam. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, you can rotate the whole wings. You can move this extra arm somewhere. Yeah, it's kind of menacing. in the front here. Yeah, this is really amazing. All right. Yeah, the reach on this one is ridiculous. It's let's see how far we can stretch this. One side, yeah, you're basically getting a foot on or the length of the wing, almost a foot or a little bit over. I didn't really stretch it out far on one side. So you got about 2.5 feet of wingspan on this one. Crazy. Well, it does look amazing. Alright, other than that, let's go over the other gimmicks. There's actually quite a bit. Alright, let's start with the hands. So aside from the open hands, as you can see here, you're gonna get closed fist. And that's it. You only get 2 pairs of hands. I kind of wish they've added something to hold the weapon, but there's no actually weapons on this. His gimmick is the wings. Although you do get another pair of hands. These are the open hands for the wings, are more open. And they're more wicked looking. And to swap this out, I actually like to use this one. Just a straight peg. It's an easy swap. Just need to get it in there a little bit more. There we go. And on to the other side. Alright, next part is the blades, or the forearm. I think that's what, I'm not too sure what the particular name for it is. But the blades that goes on the side of his forearm. Usually you see spikes. This one you can swap it out with this. And taking this out for the first time is very tough. I had issues with this, and actually everything that you have to swap with armor, it's tough to take it out the first time. But once you get it out, there we go. A lot easier to swap things up. There's a lot of methods to take them out. I just went ahead and do the brute force method. I used some paper towels and some pliers, and just kind of slowly ease it way out. You do have a chance of damaging the paint on that one. And I'm not sure, it's also possible to heat it up with that hair dryer. That's another option. But I was just too lazy to grab it. So, yep, we swap it out. You get now spikes on his forearms, which is great. Next part will be the side here, the waist, or his leg. So for each leg, we're just gonna do one here. There we go. Take this out, and we're gonna swap it with this. And this one does contain a crazy amount of batarangs in there. That's a lot. And this one is pegged in a little different, because the first one is pegged in 3 position. This one is just pegged on 2. And you don't really see it as much in front. I usually peg the one on front first, and then peg the little in the middle here. There we go. Yeah, it doesn't really show much in front. It's more on the back side. I kind of wish this thing opens up, but I guess it wouldn't make sense to open it backwards. But yeah, there's that. But you still have that impression that the armor kind of opens up, which is cool. Then you get this side here. There we go. Moving on. Yeah, there's more. Now this part, I'm kind of wondering how come they did this part here. All right, let me just get this. All right, moving on. Now, similarly on the forearms, you have some blades here on his leg. And we're just gonna pop it out one by one. And again, it's hard to do this the first time. Since I already lose them, it's not a problem. Each of these is individually numbered, and I think this side is 4, 5, 6. So starting from the bottom, it's 4. But I'm gonna go ahead and put the number 6 on top first. So we have this piece right here. Yeah, I'm kind of wondering how come they did this individually. With on the forearm, it's one piece. They could have done that same way here, but I guess not. And it's the same way. You got an extra piece of blade sticking out. So I don't think it makes sense to have it on the leg. I mean, the forearm, yes, but leg, as you're kicking someone, it just feels a little weird. Alright, so I think I pretty much swap out all the swappable pieces. Again, you have the forearm blades here, you get the side panel of the legs, and more of the blades on the lower leg. Overall, this is a really awesome figure, and just in comparison with my background, this thing, again, is really huge. Yeah, I have difficulty in reviewing this. And I think that's about it. Now, recommendations. Will I recommend this figure? I have mixed feelings on this part here. If I have to say yes and no. No, it's very expensive. This particular figure will run you about close to $300. That's with shipping and probably tax. Yep, it is just that expensive. And I think they did release another player arts like the Bahamut. That one is around that price point too. But I don't have that one, and I cannot make a comparison whether you should get that one or this one instead. And it's typically depending on your preference. On the other side, this is a really cool figure. I really like the design. It's unique and kind of goes along with Batman. If you're a big Batman fan and you dig this design, definitely go for it. It's really cool. Or you're a fan of Tetsuya Nomura and just having one of his awesome designed figures, there you go. But otherwise, yeah, it just depends on the person. But definitely, as a figure on its own, this is really nice. I really like this. I mean, there are a few things that I found, typically the gaps on the armor and changing out the armaments or the armor plates. Those are a bit tedious to work with, or kind of hard, but there is always a way to work around it. But otherwise, I didn't really find much issues. I really like how the wings turned out, very articulate, as well as the extra arm on the back. It's not that distracting, actually. I thought it was like, it'll be really weird, but the whole thing is weird already. And it kind of adds to the charm that you have an extra arm there. And it's kind of like how bats are. I mean, the hands are attached to the wings, after all. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for the review. If you have any question, particularly for this figure, let me know. Otherwise, that's about it. So until then, this is Meads. Thanks for watching.